What's going on, guys? Austin 22LR coming at you today. Today, we're going to hang out outside. We're going to talk about something that I invested in about 2 years ago. And it was a pretty expensive investment. This is a field armors kit from Fix It Sticks. It runs about $650. And I know exactly what you're thinking when I say $650 because I was sticker shocked with it as well. But after using it for 2 years, I would really recommend it to somebody that is going to be an avid shooter and work on their own guns and, you know, things of that nature. Now, this kit would be really good to have around the house too, but there's way cheaper kits to have a Phillips head and a flathead screwdriver in the house. This is more going to be geared towards your gunsmithing or just your gun maintenance side of things when it comes to tools. So without further ado, let's get into it. The thing that I love personally about the Fix It Sticks is the redundancy. The redundancy of tools within this kit helps just ease my mind to know that, hey, first of all, if I lose a tool, I'm usually working outside on these guns or working, at a range or whatnot. If I lose a tool in the mud or if I lose a tool in the leaves, that's fine. It sucks. I know it's money lost, but I can get that task done with the same tool of a different length. Another thing with redundancy is when you round off a tool or it starts to wear out, you don't want to mess around and strip out a bolt head on these guns, because a lot of these little tiny screws and bolts and fasteners or whatnot are so driven in and so flush with certain parts, you're not going to be able to get in there and remove that screw efficiently unless you might damage a gun or that fastener or have to replace a part, and that's not something you want to do. So what you will see is it has all your Allen heads, it has all your Torx heads, it has all your Phillips heads and flatheads that you could possibly need to work on guns or really any project that you have that is dealing with the smaller screws. So you see those, so that's three-sided. All the tools are pretty much in this little plastic, double-ended case, and they do have an attachment on the back that fits in the case. And we'll show you that a little later on. But the redundancy starts with, okay, those were the stubbies. Now these are the extended. I think these are what they call their 2-inch ones. So it has all your Torx, it has all your Allens, and then it has your array of different sizes of both Phillips head and flathead, and they're different widths and whatnot. These tools are really good as far as how they're cut. I have no idea how they are cut, but they do hold the test of time. There are some, don't get me wrong, I haven't used every single one of these, but there are certain Allen heads that you look at the top and you can see that they're getting use the most. And I probably worked on no less than 30 different rifles and pistols with this set of tools, and it's held up fine. I've only had a warranty out one bit, and that one bit that I did warranty out, they had the replacement bit to me within a week. They didn't ask me questions on how I was using it. They didn't ask me questions on sending pictures or, it was a no hassle warranty. I called them. Well, I didn't call them. I sent them an email, and they just replied back with the email. The bit is on its way, and it got here within, I want to say, a week. Another thing about this toolkit, it has just as many specialty tools as it does your regular, your Torx bits, your Allen heads, your Phillips heads, your flatheads. And where the specialty tools start out is right here. So this is a Glock base pad removal tool. This is a 1/2-inch just socket that goes onto the T-handle. I'll show you the T-handle here shortly. These right here are invaluable when it comes to working on your scopes of your rifles. If you want to be competitive, you have to torque down your action bolts, you have to torque down your scope bolts, you have to, the scope screws, everything has to be torqued down to the proper spec every time when you disassemble it and put it back together to keep that accuracy there. All right, So it just eliminates problems that you would have that if you just got a wrench and you're like, all right, that's good enough. This says, no, my action torque is, 65 inch-pounds. That's exactly where it needs to be, and it's there every time. And how you do that is these little, they're like miniature torque wrenches for inch-pounds. And how they work is it has a line up here, and you put the bit in there, you put it on the screw, and then you turn it, and the body of this thing rotates around, and it has different hash marks up here. This is a 0 to 65 inch-pound one. So this is what I use on like my Matrix Pro, tightening my Rim-X chassis together, and I usually set it at 65 inch-pounds on both screws. Couldn't do it without this, or you'll need some other torque wrench, but these are probably the better ones I've found. And as far as working on scopes, because you're not torquing down mini scope screws to 65 inch-pounds. That's just way too much. So that's where this little guy comes in. You get a red and a blue one. The red one's heavier. This is a 0 to 25, so it's just less poundage or inch-pounds on it. And that starts at 0 and works its way up to 25 inch-pounds. Very valuable if you're doing anything in the competition world to have these. These are very expensive. I think they're roughly like 60 bucks, 50 bucks a piece, but they come in the kit. You do have the choice to do the, it's kind of like a kit upgrade, and you can get the individual torque limiters for certain inch-pounds. I'd rather have these because especially if you're gonna torque your action, if you're gonna start at, 35 and then you're gonna test your group, you're gonna go to 45, test your group. This is very valuable to have because it's all in one. You can just leave the same tool on there, shoot groups, tighten it down, shoot groups, figure out where your action needs to be. Pretty valuable there. The next kind of what I would call specialty is your punch set. So you have brass punches, so you're not messing up, finishes on guns. You have steel punches when you really don't care, you just want to get things in there. And you have roll pin punches. Roll pin punches are probably some of the most underrated punches when it comes to building an AR rifle. Anybody that's ever built a rifle and has hammered in that little bitty like roll pin into the bolt release on an AR knows that a roll pin punch is all you need to have, and it is very valuable to keep that little pin from springing itself across the room. Has a brush, a little carbon scraper. This tool, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I have no idea what this tool is used for. It has threads, so this is kind of tapped on both ends with threads, and this is threaded, and it has a little hole through it. I have no idea what this tool is for, but if anybody knows in the comments what this tool is for, please let me know, because there's a chance that I've needed this tool and have not used it for the simple fact of I didn't know what it was for. So let me know if you know. Then you kind of have like a little scraper, a little with the kind of like the multi-tool like wrench spokes in it. And another underrated tool for this toolkit is a scraper. There are times where I've needed this to either kind of switch over a Glock mag for a left-handed shooter, or like a Glock mag release for a left-handed shooter. And there's not many things that do that task good. So I put this in there, I just flipped it up, reversed it and flipped it back down. Very valuable, and it's held in, it's held up very well over the last 2 years. I've probably only used this maybe 10 times, but if anybody else knows picks are one of those things that I don't know about y'all, but I tend to break. So that's pretty valuable little tool there. The other specialty bits that you have a Glock channel liner installer, puller, if you want to say. This is a really, really nice front sight tool for our Glock. It is magnetic. It is full steel. A lot of times when it comes to Glocks, I have front sight tools on Glocks. They're too thick to get around, to get up in there and actually install or take these apart. And sometimes I run across the Glocks with the red Loctite on the front sight, which I understand completely. The Glock sights fall off enough to know that, red Loctite is not necessarily the worst thing, but when you're trying to break those loose, it can be a bear. But this full metal construction with a magnetic tip, this is worth even if you don't buy this kit, that is worth its weight if you just go buy it off their website. It has a castle nut wrench, believe it or not, in this little thing. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be the best. I want to torque this thing down to any, crazy torque specs, but it'll get you through a range day if you notice your castle nut's coming loose. And they all just have the same insert. It does have this little wrench, little low profile wrench, which I don't even, to be honest with you, I've never used that, and I really can't come up with a reason for it either. Now, these I have used, these are like the bolt scrapers for, it has one for 223 and 308 still left in there. But that is pretty valuable. If you put it in there, twist it around the bolt, it kind of breaks the carbon loose. You can see it's still dirty from the last usage, and it even has a little firing pin scraper kind of deal. And that is in 223 and 308. Has the aim point, like the micro or the little adjustment tool, the little 2-teeth tool. Now this right here, people running aim points, they don't think about it because there's not many ways to adjust those 2 points without having a tool like this. This tool right here, for only people running aim points, is very valuable. Has your standard A2 front sight. Also works with the Magpul front sight tools, or front sights as well. It is all metal, which that makes me very happy because I always feel like I'm going to break the teeth off the plastic ones when I use it. I used this the other day to help zero in just some iron sights. This is probably the best front sight tool I've ever used. Has a Remington 700 action breakdown tool. Now, I've never used this. My Remington, only Remington 700 actions I have are 22s. One's a Bergara 22, the HMR 22, and then I have a Remex, which I have never had to use this on either one of them, so I can't really attest to that. Has the 1911 front bushing tool, which again, I'm not a 1911 guy, so can't really attest to that one either, but I would guess it works pretty good. All the other tools have exceeded my expectations, so I don't see why that one wouldn't. All right. So another thing this kit comes with, and it's probably the more important thing that it comes with, let me grab a bit off of here, is your ratcheting T-handle. This ratcheting T-handle is hands down worth every penny that you would pay for this, even if you bought it separately. So like I said, it is a ratcheting T-handle. It does have the switch on top so you can reverse it. That is the body of the T-handle. I can't turn it because that collar is, it freely rotates. But it comes with 2 of these extensions. And all they are just T-handle extensions. You can stack them on top of each other and make a really long T-handle if you need to get in somewhere. Or you can make it to where you can have more leverage. It just comes with 2 of them. And another reason is if you just need a little screwdriver, it does perfectly as a screwdriver. It is knurled on the back. Now, sometimes I do wish it had knurling up here, so when I did do the screwdriver idea, that I could actually get some leverage, really tweak on it. But for what we're doing with guns, this is perfectly fine. If I do need to get leverage, I just throw the little T-handle on here. It does work really good. Really seems to have really fine teeth. Now, I'm not going to say go torque down lug nut with it because it's probably going to break. But as far as the inch pounds we work with, not feet pounds, the inch pounds we work with when it comes to firearms, this is going to be a stellar option as far as, tightening down a bolt or fastener. Even with the 65-inch torque wrench, kind of what I do. So I'll throw this on and I'll put the 65-inch pound torque wrench on here just so I can get it perfectly precise. I have that leverage, to kind of get it on there without having to fight it with the little, small grasping point. So as you saw, all the bits do come in that little, I think that's quarter inch kind of configuration. It is magnetic, so when you pop them in there, it is magnetized, and it is actually in there pretty good. You got to kind of get a good grasp and pull. Not magnetized to the point that it will hold the screw on there, unless it's like the front sights tool for the Glock. Now that one has a magnet actually at the base, so you can put the little pin, or what they call it, screw in for the front sight. but these aren't going to hold like a screw on there for you. Another little thing it comes with is, I know that a lot of people think this is stupid, but I found a really good use for this. It's a little brass head that goes inside the magnet, and you can turn this thing into a little hammer. You know, I thought it was going to be so stupid. I thought I was never going to use it. But just the other day, I was punching out some pins on a Glock and had I had this set up. Here, I'll show you exactly how I had it set up. So I use the brass, don't judge me. But usually when I'm working on guns, I use the brass. I don't want to mar up, even though it is plastic. I know, blah, blah, blah. But I had it like this, had it set up, and I was punching pins out. And as you can see, that is a nice little place to hit. And I literally just tapped the pins out. Worked out pretty good. Now, you're not going to get massive leverage points or anything with the hammer, but I think it's pretty innovative that they found a way to, you know, make a multi-tool even more multi-toolish. The last thing that it comes with an array of ball head Allen wrenches, and they're all extended. I think this is their 3-inch variants. Phenomenal. If you have an MPA Matrix Pro, this little 5/64 ball head is going to save your life with all those little set screws. This one right here comes in so handy. And even the really large one for action bolts, and then it also comes with a T30 Torx head, so you can get up there. And these are more primarily for your, you know, torquing your actions down. That's what I've used them for, my Rimex or my Bagara. Like this one right here is the only one that will get up into the action and, you know, get that screw tightened down or loosen the screw when I have the mag block on, you know, the little piece of metal that blocks the magazine from getting pushed in the barricade. The barricade stop is what it's called. But this is the only one I can do that with, because if I didn't have this, I would have to take the 4 screws off of the magazine, or the magazine block, and then I would have to go up in there. So this eliminates me having to back out and put in 4 other screws. The case it comes with is a nylon case. It is a pretty nice case, and I have no complaints with it. I mean, they could have maybe made these a little tighter, and, you know, that would have been great and all, but it has spots for your mag block to fit in, has spots for your little magnetic tray to fit in, and I'll show you those right now. So, sorry, I said mag block, but these are actually bench blocks. So this is a bench block that, you know, you can put things in, and it kind of holds it in certain areas for you. It is rubberized on the bottom, so it won't slide around. And this is what you kind of like knock things out with, so your pins fall through. It has a couple wear marks. I have used this a lot. It does work pretty well. It's not the end all be all, but for the package that they have it in is great. And it also comes with a little magnetic tray that velcros in the back, and I'll show you how those implement right now. So this is the very back. If you see, velcro that in, and then you can velcro that in. Make sure velcro's in like that. Your little, and then it has slots right here for your long Allen keys. All right. Then it has more Velcro, or not Velcro, I'm sorry, elastic for your driver or your extension to fit in. And then your driver fits in, or your T-handle fits in. So that is the more specialized back pocket, and that's how that fits in the rear. So you have your magnetic tray, your T-handle extension, your little block for punching pins out. You have all those 3-inch extended bits right there. And then you'll notice when you get over here, you kind of have like Molly webbing. How that works is you see these little plastic holders. On the back, they have little kind of tabs that go through them. And it's very simple. They just slide on. I don't know if you can see this. Let me get it in some light. So these just slide on to the MOLLE webbing. You feed both of them through, and you are good to go. It does come with an extra spot down here. So if you wanted to upgrade your kit and buy more tools and, you know, fixate them, you could. All right, guys. So we're back. I have the case fully loaded up. Let's run through it right quick. So the front is just a Velcro area, so you can throw your morale patches on or name tags or whatever you want to do there. It does have a pretty lengthy pocket. I do have some parts in here, as you can see. I have, like, this is my little oops kit for my Remex, so when the ejectors break or whatnot, have some little plastic bags in there in case I need to hold on to some bolts or whatnot. But as far as the case goes, the presentation is beautiful. So when I throw this out onto the bench, this is what I look at. So that's the front, flip it over, and that's what the back looks like. Now, that's my fault. I did not install these correctly. But that is what the back looks like. So everything is just laid out beautifully. If I want the magnetic tray, I just take the magnetic tray and I just Velcro it, throw it on the table so I have places to put stuff. All these are just elastic in, and then my little vice block is Velcroed in. So I keep all the tools that I'm actually going to use up here, so that way when I throw it down on the table, it is ready to go and I have no issues working. And another thing with this whole system is you notice there's no empty spaces when it comes to the little tools. Now, if I'm going to lose something, it's going to be one of these little micro bits right here. And it's just awesome knowing that once I pull one of these out, it looks like a missing tooth. So I know to put it back in at a later, you know, before I clean up my case and move on. It also lets me know that, hey, I'm missing a tool if I, you know, throw it in the leaves right now, you know, just like I did, and I can't find it later. We'll find that later. All right. So the only tool that I would recommend you picking up as an accessory if you're running a Night Force or a Trijicon scope is this little array right here. It does have a Torx limiter, and it has 3 different little baby Allen heads and Torx Torx bits. This is the only one that I can find that fits in my zero stop bolts for my Trijicon scope, and it's a T6, which is very tiny little screw head. This was like 20 bucks. This is the only thing I've had to add to the kit that I've found a need for. Everything else has worked perfectly. Now, I know this is a long video, but hopefully it helps out somebody. When I was looking at it, I wanted to know exactly what was in the toolkit to see if I was going to use it, and I really hope this does help somebody along the way. Y'all have a wonderful day, and thank y'all for hanging out, and we'll catch you on the next video. See ya.